next we got what if the Tyranids invaded during the Horus Heresy. Let's go, man. Let's go.
G'day guys and gal. The Horus Heresy, to put it lightly, was an unideal time to be alive. Mankind went from a golden age of enlightenment and power to the most vicious civil war it had ever experienced.
Bro, you know how salty I would be if I was born during the Horus Heresy, yo? No, let me just keep it 1,000 with y'all. Like, I gotta like make me a ship or something to get out of there. For real. Like, genuinely, everything was just down bad. Like, nothing was good. Like, nothing was like there was no joy. like happiness and joy and just all those great words that you find in the dictionary wasn't a thing, bro. Like, the Horus Heresy was just full of like pain, betrayal, hurt, screaming, terror. Like, bro, it was filled with so many horrible things that, like, if I was born in the Horus Heresy, I gotta get out of here. For real. Scrub the ground with it. I gotta go. Seriously, bro. They not finna catch me. For real. It's either that or I would have tried to, like, you know, collect all the Dragon Balls or something. I gotta, like, baby, what are you wishing for? I gotta wish for something good.
It wasn't just one side of politics versus the other. It was the literal forces of hell raping and pillaging everything. And even when the forces of the Emperor technically won, it was such a Pyrrhic victory that no one actually felt victorious. But what if we spice things up even further? If that was even possible. What if the Tyranids invaded the galaxy in force and the Heresy? What would change? Who would win? Would the Tyranids get swept away, or could they dominate a galaxy torn asunder? Before we get started, I'm so happy. To set the scene, let's say we're halfway through the Heresy. Ferrus is dead, the Shadow Crusade has ended with Angron becoming a demon prince, the Angel Exterminatus is over with Fulgrim becoming a demon prince, the Ruin Storm is present, the Thramis Crusade has just ended up with the Night Lords getting fucked on by the Dark Angels, the Ultramarines are still pissed off about Calth, but are stuck in Imperium Secundus, Sanguinius has just survived Cygnus Prime, and arrived in Ultramar, the war in the Webway has been lost, Prospero has burnt, Corax and the Shattered Legions are fighting their guerrilla wars, Vulcan is insane on Macragge, Jagadai is figuring out how to get to Terra, Alpharius is doing whatever the
everybody going through it. Everybody. Jimmy, Donald, Laura, Katie, Johnson, yo, Anthony, everybody going through it. Bro, not one person is chilling. Everybody throwing hands right now. Man. Oh my goodness. Like, I'm gonna just keep it real. Like, I feel like if I'm the Emperor, and this is where I gotta give him some props. I know, like, we roast the Emperor a lot. Like, we call him a deadbeat dad. I know, like, you know, he's a horrible father. I know he owed, like, what, $1 to $2.3 billion in child support. I know he's a horrible whatever, right? I know he's just dumb as rocks. I gotta give him props, yo. Because if I'm the Emperor and I'm seeing all my sons beef and fight, and then, like, all my planets and everything, like, everything is legit in turmoil, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, bro. I would have took a first class trip straight to Cancun. No lie, bro. I would have just, like, sat back, bro, kicked my feet up like these. Kick my feet. I would show my feet, but them things is weapons. I don't want to scare nobody. Like, bro, I'll kick my feet up, bro, eat popcorn, and just enjoy the last days. I'm not fighting nothing or nobody. For real, bro. And guess what? If my side loses, if my side of Sun loses, bro, I gotta press that button, the big red button, bro. Yo, what that little girl from Rush Hour said? Push the goddamn button. Yo, I gotta push the button. Everything gotta go. Yo, it's either my team wins or everything goes. For real.
Fuck he is doing, and Mortarion is linking up with Horus in preparation for the war on Molech. This point of the Heresy experienced a bit of a lull, if you can call it that. The traitors were scattered, the loyalists were scattered, everyone was just sort of doing their thing and figuring out how to get to Terra. Basically a prime, clean midway point for the Nids to invade. Now in canon, the Tyranids came to the Milky Way after the Pharos device was overloaded and blew up during the Heresy, sending out a massive psychic beacon which the Tyranids detected and retracted to it as it indicated that the galaxy had delicious sentient life in it. It took the Nids about about 10,000 years to arrive in force after the initial detection. So in this version of events, let's say that the Eldar did something retarded 10,000 years prior to the Heresy, which gave off an equivalently big signal. Yes, I know that they did the Slaanesh thing, which was super retarded, but that was pretty close to the Heresy. So let's just say that a bunch of Eldar Cain cultists try to bring their god back into real space to try and cleanse the early seeds of corruption from the Eldar people due to the foresight of the fall. However, this was thwarted by the other Eldar who didn't want their god of war back in real space, killing everyone. Thus, the massive psychic blowback of the event was detected by the Tyranids. Boom! Dope lore. As for the Tyranids' strength, when they first arrived in canon, they came as High Fleet Behemoth, who did a lot of damage and was stopped by the Ultramarines at great cost. However, the Horus Heresy featured legions, not chapters, and mankind at its military zenith, and chaos at near peak power, so a single High Fleet would get obliterated pretty easily after a few early victories. So instead, let's say the Tyranids arrived in full force, comparable to their current setting numbers. So the aggressive Behemoth, the near infinite Leviathan, the horrific Kraken.
We gotta team up. we gotta team up. We gotta Goku and Vegeta this. Because if we don't, it's over with. We gotta partner up. Am I wrong? Listen, what would y'all do? Bro, because let's say, for example, right? I'm giving this person the beats. I'm giving him all types of Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat combos and everything, right? He's doing the same thing to me. But yo, we look to our right and we see a whole swarm of just termites of these dudes right here coming towards us. Yo, are we gonna drop the hands and then turn this way to fight them? Because I'm gonna keep it real for what it is. Yo, depending on who I'm fighting, yo, if I'm fighting, like, listen, if I'm fighting G-Thug, right, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, I'm dropping my hands and we gotta fight them together. And I'm pretty sure he would do the same thing. I'll keep it real, bro. If I'm fighting Conrad Kurz, bro, I'll drop my hands, turn this way like I'm about to fight them, bro, and just run at the last second. Yep. You getting jumped, bro. I'm going to run, jump on my ship, bro, and I'm out of here, bro. I'm gone. Sorry, but not sorry, bro. It depends on who you are. If you're a respected opponent, then I'm going to stay there and I'm going to help you out. But if you're not, if you're a bum, if you're a school threat, if you're a menace to society, bro, I'm gonna fake like I'm about to help you, and I'm out of here. I'm out of here, Chief. I'm gone.
Chaos specialist Kronos. Yes, there are a ton more Tyranid high fleets, but let's just keep this example simple and clean. The Tyranids also attack from all sides of the galaxy, including from under the galactic plane, so they are not choke point or containable. We'll also assume that the Tyranids are unaware of the power of the galaxy and will act similar how they do when they first arrived in canon. Likewise, the Milky Way doesn't know much about the Tyranids and do not have all the anti-Tyranid weapons developed yet like they do in canon. Here's what would probably happen. As the Imperium is preparing its stand on Terra and the traitors are trying to unite for the final push, disturbing reports are coming to both sides. Lonely, unimportant worlds at first, but then more and more key worlds are going dark, sending out psychic screams before being snuffed out. It quickly becomes clear that there is a new unknown threat working its way through the galaxy, devouring helpless worlds whose armies are either tied up in the Heresy or do not yet exist due to how young the Imperium was. Communication is difficult due to the Ruin Storm and the Shadow and the Warp. However, Chaos would be the first to act due to their ease of travel, as well as the Chaos Gods highlighting this new disturbing, unexpected threat. The main issue the Loyalists faced during the Heresy was not knowing what the fuck was going on most of the time. If they got reports that abominations were eating Imperial worlds, they would just assume it was Horus's demonic legions and would continue just doing their best. The Emperor was too distracted on the Golden Throne, and the Tyranids are already hard to see due to their Shadow and the Warp, so we honestly would have no idea. The only one who would get suspicious something was off, I mean at least more off, would be Malcador, who would deploy his knights errant to investigate the reports. Horus and his legions would be forced to face this new threat first, as it began chomping on their supply lines and world.
I told you, bro. Everybody will literally have to drop what they're doing to focus on the bigger threat, y'all. I told y'all.
Secundus would also come under attack as the Nids would be attracted to the Pharos device. Horus's overwhelming legions and their demonic allies would perform well against the initial Tyranid hordes. They had experience against various alien forms, whilst the Tyranids would not be used to this new hard-to-digest foe. The Shadow and the Warp would cause a lot of issues, but as we've seen in canon, it isn't just an instant win against psychic enemies or demons. Many of the more specialized, advanced Nids also wouldn't exist yet, so it would mostly just be swarm tactics going up against Horus's forces. Imperium Secundus would be harder pressed, but with Guilliman, Sanguinius, and then the Lion's Legion arriving, they would hold, although Sotha may be lost due to its small garrison. However, that also creates an interesting situation. For dramatic effect, the Tyranids should arrive while the Night Lords are attacking Sotha. Would it become a three-way war? Would the traitors and loyalists team up? Well, in lore, there are rare occasions of two natural enemies teaming up against a greater foe. Imperial Fists and Iron Warriors once teamed up against an overwhelming force of Orcs and won. Orcs and Guardsmen have teamed up against Tyranids and won. So if the case was either guaranteed death or potential survival by teaming up, then I honestly can see the Loyalists on Sotha teaming up with the Night Lords. Now naturally, the Night Lords would try and betray the Loyalists once the threat had passed.
Like, bro, why can't y'all just be normal? Like, yo, you Night Lords, bro, you ugly bum bitter. Let me chill out. Let me chill out, yo. Let me chill out. I don't want to, violate. I don't want to. Let me just chill out. I listen, man. I told the Lord I was gonna try with my cursing, so we not even gonna. I'm gonna chill out. But why they always like? And this is why I don't like them. A lot of y'all in the comments is like, "Oh, bro, why don't you like the Night Lords?" Why don't I like the who? The Night? Why don't I? What? Yo, that's like asking me what's 2 + 2. What do you mean? Why don't I like the Night Lords, bro? Look how they move around people. They're weird. What are we talking about? They're weird. They're geeks, bro. They're Hall of Fame menaces to societies. Why would I even get near those dudes? Bro, you could legit. Yo, the Night Lords reminds me of like that one kid who legit got stuffed into the locker at 7 a.m. and you try to like open the locker to help him out and he lashes out on you. That's literally what the Night Lords is, bro. Seriously.
However, an Ultramarine relief fleet was on the way, and the Forest device had interesting properties that potentially could have helped against the Nids.
Like,
so
bruh.
perhaps we would see a case of the Nids being beaten and the Forest device staying intact, with the Night Lords either getting killed or allowed to leave in peace after the war. Depends if they were being douchebags or not. This same hypothetical situation would play out on dozens of battlefields, loyalists and traitors getting stuck in, only for a Tyranid fleet to arrive. Some places it would become a three-way war, in which case the Nids would most likely win. In others, it would be a team-up of loyalists and traitors against the Tyranids' threat, in which the humans would likely win. Battlefields like Molech, Talon, and so on would become incredibly spicy with Tyranid intervention. The result would really depend on who was present. If it was the World Eaters with a Khornite army fighting against loyalists, then it would be a three-way war. But on places like Talon, where it was tank crews and titans versus Perturabo and his practical Iron Warriors, then it would for sure be a team up against the Tyranids. But then what would happen after? Would the two sides end their conflict or resume it? Hard to say. The Tyranids originally would be met with significant amount of defeats. However, they would evolve and adapt a lot faster than the broken Imperium would. They would become progressively more dangerous, and with so many undefended Imperial worlds ripe for plundering, they would have a near endless source of biomass. I also do believe a Tyranid force would strike at Terra. For fun, let's say it's during Alpharius and Rogal showdown just before the Battle of Pluto. The Tyranids would be attracted to the Astronomicon and knew that if they took it out, the galaxy would be a lot easier to consume. They also wouldn't know how well defended it would be. This would obviously result in the invading Nids getting absolutely decimated before even being able to land any troops on any planet. I also believe it would really shock the Imperium, as they would realize it was a Xeno threat, not a Chaos one. This would also cause Alpharius to stop his games and surrender to Dorn, pledging the Alpha Legion to the Loyalist side for the sake of combating the Tyranid threat. And by this time...
Nah, I don't think so. I think his ego would get in the way. Just like bro, like y'all have to like understand that like everybody's ego in Warhammer, bro, is like the size of like Mount Everest, bro. Like everybody is very egotistic. So like even helping somebody out that you're fighting, do you know how much you know how much of a blow that is to your ego? Do you legit know how much? Cause like bro, even in real life, that hurts your ego. Like whenever you help somebody out that did you dirty, like your ego saying, yo, you gonna do that? Like you're gonna help this dude out after he hurt us or after he did this to us? You're gonna help him out? Like, bro, our ego, like as humans, I will obviously like. Here's the thing, like my ego, bro. I'll keep it real. It was really high, not because I thought I was somebody, but like, you know, there were certain situations where like, you know, I thought I was better than this person at it, or you know, whatever. Just for example, but bro, as humans, you know, we naturally have like big egos, bro. Like especially, bro, you know, since we're born of this world, bro. Like we have nasty just high egos. And, you know, it obviously, bro, as we age or as it takes, you know, certain experiences or, you know, whenever you get with God, you know, your ego may change. But at the end of the day, bro, this is Warhammer. Everybody's ego is absolutely through the roof, bro. So I don't even think Alpharius would bow down to Rogal Dorn at all. I don't think so. I think that would still be, I think they're still gonna like beef out or whatever.
Agents would have confirmed the threat and reported on massive engagements against the Tyranids. With Chaos realizing the Tyranids were a full-on galactic threat, and the Loyalists also realizing it, the two sides would be forced to parley, as their own forces would be getting whittled down against the infinite tide of Nids. Now, diplomacy with Chaos might sound far-fetched, but not everyone on the Chaos side, especially at this point, was batshit insane, and they were still capable of rational thought and strategy, especially Primarchs like Perturabo and to a solid degree, pre-Molech Horus. If the Tyranids come during the Molech War, then that may even deny Horus the chance to enter the Molech portal, meaning he maintains most of his sanity and doesn't end up that corrupted. Horus, Mortarion, Perturabo, Lorga, and Magnus were still sane enough by this point to be happy to parley and face the new threat. Conrad would be startled by the Nids not being in his visions and would also likely direct his effort against them. Fulgrim and Angron would just need to be directed and unleashed like weapons of mass destruction. On the Loyalist side, although many would despise a parley, they too would accept it out of necessity. The parley would mostly involve the Loyalists and traitors fighting the Tyranids on their own terms, but there would occasionally be team-ups if they were forced to. Many Horus Heresy era weapons would actually be extremely effective against the Nids. For example, Phosphex, which is a vicious, almost sentient mega napalm that hunts for life and is nearly impossible to extinguish, was in great supply during the Heresy, but is gone in the current setting.
Bro, he taking bro's soul away, yo. Pause. Hey, pause. Hey. Chill. Chill. No, look at this, y'all. No, look at this. Look at this. It looks like he's. I'm done, right? Okay.
So having that against the Nids would be devastating. Likewise, Chaos using Nurgle-like bioplagues has been shown to be also very effective. The Dark have some spicy disposal. It will take years, maybe even decades or longer, as well as countless trillions of lives and hundreds of worlds.
Bro got that cheese touch.
Even a few dead Primarchs, but the Nids would be unable to stand against both the Imperium and the Traitors, both at near full strength. The Eldar would also help where they could, not to mention the Orcs getting stuck in on the fighting as well. It's a common theme in 40k that if everyone just stopped fucking around and focused entirely on the Nids, then they could crush the threat. But it's the total war and chaos of the setting that allows the Nids to flourish. The Nids are somewhat contained in the current setting despite all-out war between all factions, as they are a big player in a sea of big players. Factions don't team up against the Nids because there are too many factions. But the Heresy was more or less a 1v1 of two empires that were only a few years earlier sworn allies. The power of the Imperium and Chaos during the Heresy was leagues above what it is in the current setting. So that combined with an inevitable parley and even team up would be too much for the Tyranid invasion. As for what would happen afterwards, there is actually a chance that the Heresy also ends, perhaps in a Cold War situation where the Imperium is split in two. Both the Loyalists and the Traitors would be severely damaged, the Traitors more so, and they would also be shook by this external invasion and cautious of more Tyranids coming in the future. If they just jumped straight back into civil war, the only real outcome would be a near mutual.
That would be dumb. That would legit be stupid if they did.
Particularly a suicide pact, especially if more Nids came, which it is likely they would. So as ironic as it is, the Tyranids attacking during the Heresy may actually have been a positive for the galaxy. It may have saved the Emperor as there would be no Siege of Terror. It may have returned traitor Primarchs like Alpharius and Magnus back into the Loyal.
This is first of all, well, obviously this is like a what if situation. Shout out to Majorkill for this video, by the way. But like, I'm gonna keep it real, bro. Like, I still think that they can either do two things. They can either just ignore it and just keep fighting and keep beefing with each other and like, you know, go out absolute bad to these termites, or they can like, put the guns down and, you know, fight together once and for all. And then, bro, after they beat the Tyranids, they go back to like beefing with each other. Like, bro, their egos are legit that high. But comment down below, man. What do you guys think about the video? Shout out to Majorkill for this video, and for like this idea. I do like this idea a lot. But like, bro, the Tyranids, bro, y'all gotta like realize something, bro. The Tyranids, bro, they're just like, it's like an unlimited amount of them. Like, if everybody like legit locked in and like chose to like really take them out, then I feel like they could really have a chance to take them out. But like, yo, everybody's ego is nasty. Everybody's ego is just nasty high. So I don't even see nobody doing that, man. So comment down below what do you guys think about the video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe to the channel. On the road to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I'm going to see you all the rest of them out. Peace out, everybody.